All right, here we go. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak at iFiber One. I'm Jeff Slakey, and hope you're having a good start to your day. Two great guests here as we talk about the efforts this year to bring forth a Y to the Mason County area. Rob Wilson-Haas and Kyle Cronk from the South Sound Y. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on the air with me and talking about this big event, and it's been a big year. Rob, you've been doing a lot of work here in Mason County. Kyle, you are with the South Sound Y, and then I would assume eventually kind of move into the greater South Sound area. So talk to me a little bit about the progress thus far, where we're at in the process of finding. We got the Y location potentially, and then moving forward into the next year. Kyle, let's start with you. How great would it be for the county to get a Y, and what does it mean for a community to have a YMCA?
Well, I think we're at a very special time here, certainly in Shelton and Mason County. Rob and all the volunteers, Julie and Mary and Lisa and Jackie have all really pulled together this community, and it's a little less about the why and more about the community vision of collaboration and working together and really changing the narrative in Shelton and Mason County. So, it would be game-changing, I think, to have a community collaboration with a Y, especially with the location. I mean, the city stepped up incredibly with, the land right next to the schools. Yeah. We have so many different partners. It really is, I think we're on the verge of greatness.
Seems like it's a perfect location with the schools around the area and able for the kids to come in and after school and things like that and take all the class lessons. And Rob, you've been working hard on this as well. Where are you at? What are you hearing in the community? There's been a lot of great conversations about that, but at one level, that they're often just conversations. How is the community getting behind this to get this going?
Well, individuals are, at least the ones who talk to me, tend to be pretty excited.
Yeah.
Especially ones with kids, but also, really old people my age. When we started, we were just about, there's not really that much to do here.
Right.
So what do we do? But, over time, it's gradually become not just for individuals and families, but this is something that, we're seeing a lot of different support from places like the school district and the city and of course the county, and it just goes on and on. The Chamber of Commerce. I think Kyle's right. I think combined with what all of those other places are doing, there could be a change in the community.
It's a very positive, and I think just to my time, Kyle, with the Y, once it's in the community and once you're exposed to the Y, it's kind of part of you. I grew up, I was in Y camp from elementary, middle school through high school, did Y camp, and then took all my swim lessons at the downtown Y, and then my dad taught lessons at the Briggs Y for a while.
Cool.
So we, heavily involved in those kind of organizations. So generationally, how do you see the positive aspects of the Y, the way it's passed down over the years?
Yeah, great point. And my own story, I started working, I thought I was going to be a school teacher, and somebody said, hey, you should figure out if you like kids, which I thought was great advice. And they sent me to a Y camp as a volunteer. And that was when I was 15 years old, and I saw the magic of camp and, bringing people together from all over the place where they don't know each other, and then a magic happens in 10 days where they're like lifelong friends. And I never left the Y. This is the only thing I've ever done. I've met my wife through the Y. It just is. It's a part of you, and there's really no other organization like the Y that can convene a community together and really be that sort of that rock to say, hey, it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is. You're welcome here and you belong.
And it's not just the gym or the weight room or the pool, but it's the gathering place for community. Absolutely. That's going to be a big thing.
Well, and the bowling alley too.
And the bowling alley. Get it all in there. You might as well. Very neat. So what
the running joke.
What's the you got to throw it all in there, and the kitchen sink. What's the potential timeline for some of these? Are there deadlines that we're looking forward to in 2018 that we're past this metric and we got to this point, so we're moving it forward?
Yeah, there's a couple with everything. When you're looking at a project with this size and with all the different partners, you want to really have a good process in place. And I think that's one of the values of the Y and bringing to a project of this magnitude is that there are some go, no go, and stop and reassess and kind of right size different things. So right now, the community did a great job even before the Y was technically involved. Rob and his team of volunteers really got together and went out and did the market survey. That really tells you whether or not we would get enough people to join the Y to make it sustainable long term.
Mm-hmm.
So once we passed that hurdle, that's kind of where the Y, the South Sound Y, really got interested a couple years ago when I got here. Somebody told me to call this person named Julie Nichols, and I did, and then that's kind of where we joined the group and where our board really got involved was to look at that survey and say, whoa, there's something special happening here, and we need to be a part of it, and we need to kind of help this process along. So then, over the last, I would say, 8 months or so, we've raised another chunk of money to get to that next stop, which is the capital feasibility study, because we need to know if we can raise the amount of money to build the building. And so we just launched that. We hired a fundraising executive. You do that to get outside counsel so that we can figure out, are those larger donors, are people interested, do those donors passion align with this type of a project? We should get that report back, I would say, first quarter of 2018. And then that'll give us information to say, hey, we're rolling down the path and we're ready to go, or we need to make some subtle changes.
Is Mason County unique in the fact that it doesn't have a Y in Washington State? Is it?
I don't know
Ys
if it's
represented in all the other counties?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say it's unique in that. I think the uniqueness about Mason County currently, and Shelton in particular, is the amount of collaboration that's going on to get something like this to happen.
Okay.
I mean, that's a uniqueness. I can't think of an entity or an organization in Shelton, Mason County that isn't interested in collaborating with this project.
Mm-hmm.
So in getting all those, and that's not always the easiest work, right? I mean, if you're going to do something on your own, you can kind of say, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what I want to do. But in this case, we want to bring as many organizations and foundations and corporations
And
into
tribes.
and
tribes, yeah,
everybody
bring them in.
into this project.
Well, it's really encouraging to see the community get behind this and just the talk about it and the excitement that it brings. I mean, you were telling me that you and Dr. Apostle, like kids talking about Christmas coming up or something like that. Just an exciting time in the community.
Yeah, we're like a couple of 6-year-olds. Dr. Apostle gets pretty enthusiastic about things when he thinks he can do something to make things better. He gets pretty excited, and I do too. And that school district, they're going to be a great partner. We really appreciate that. I do want to say one thing. We were slugging along as a community group for a while, and then Kyle came into our lives, and the South Sound Y, and we really appreciate the courage of the South Sound Y board to just say, hey, we're going to give this a try. And the reason they did that was because of Kyle, and he's been, without him, we would, we wouldn't be anywhere. So I really appreciate the help.
Well, that's a good testament to you, Kyle.
You're very kind. Very humble.
It's all true.
Kyle, before I get you out of here, can you update some folks, Thurston County listeners, on the downtown Y and the change over to the Fifth Ave and
yes,
things like
we're
that?
very excited about that. As you may get that, operating a 108-year-old building is quite challenging. A lot of deferred maintenance there, and so the timing was right to kind of our board really wanted to stay downtown. That 108-year commitment to be in downtown Olympia, and we think that we're a big part of the revitalization in downtown. So the timing was right where the owner of the Fifth Avenue Fitness was looking to retire. So kind of part of our strategic planning has been to look at opportunities as they arise, and that made a lot of sense to everybody, and it allowed us to stay downtown. It allowed us to get out of what is a historically important building in people's lives in terms of the impact that it made, but it was time to find another way to make another 108 years of impact. Yeah, it's very challenging. So we're thrilled. We're hoping to open that spring of 2018, and we're moving right along.
All right.
Should you want to buy the Downtown Y, it is for sale.
Oh, it is for sale,
Yes.
huh? Well, there's definitely a lot of unique places and rooms in that Y.
Absolutely,
We
absolutely.
were just up at a birthday party over the summer, I think, up at the top portion party. I mean, there is just a lot there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You've done a lot with that building over the years.
Yes, and it's a testament to our executive staff that has kept that building running for as long as it has been running.
Is there any rumors? I'm just bringing this up. Time capsules, you think, anywhere hidden around the Y? Of any of the buildings in
That would be
Olympia, I
one
would
of
think
them,
of a
yeah.
Y would have a hidden time
Yeah,
capsule.
I'm not aware of one. The other interesting thing that you just made me think about is that the Olympia Historical Society is honoring entities and organizations that are 100 years old or have been around for 100 years, and we're one of the 6 that are going to be talked about here in January.
wow.
So it's kind of cool. So
That is
you
cool.
made me think of that with the
But
Neat.
that's a good idea. We need to put a time.
Yeah, time
Yeah,
capsule
right,
in there
no
for
doubt.
sure. For sure.
Because again, back to the project here. I mean, YMCA's or any sort of collaboration like this, it's not for now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about 100 years from now. Somebody's going to be sitting maybe here or elsewhere, talking about the impact that this organization has on the people that live here, and call this home and work and play. And I mean, it's when you think about it in those terms, it's game changing.
Yeah. Very exciting. Well, I look forward to following this progress as it moves forward. Rob Wilson-Haas, Kyle Cronk from the South Sound YMCA. Thank you, guys. Good to talk with you, and happy holidays, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.